Hello, my name is Kenneth Woods. I am one of the Wayfinders, and I have with me Julia Youngblood, who is former director of Arts Reach. And we're just going to talk today, let her talk about how she got started in the job, and then just some of the things she's been able to accomplish during her time there, and why she felt like it was such an important thing to really pursue true ethnicity and diversity, and just make sure that everybody who touches the stage and who's in Louisville feels like they belong. So, Julia, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for including me in the project. And unfortunately, due to COVID, I am no longer at the Kentucky Center, which is now called Kentucky Performing Arts. They
Yeah.
had a name change, but
Mhm.
Arts Reach was a program of the Kentucky Performing Arts Center for many, many years. And for 16 of those years, I was directing the program. And it truly was a great honor and just incredible experience for me in life to be able to take care of that program. And after COVID is over, somebody else might be in that role, but it is really a true gem of the Louisville cultural community. And just have to give props to some of the originators of the program. Debbie Shannon was instrumental in the early years of the program, as well as Ken Clay, Lynn Rippey, and also Portia White, who's a dancer and choreographer. She took care of the program for 13 years before I did.
Oh, wow.
So part of the way I held that program was really honoring everybody who took care of it before I did, and looking at what they had done and thinking about how to really hold that foundation strong and then put my own stamp on it and continue to grow the program.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how did you even get started in this organization? So, you've been there for some years, but how did you first even get introduced to this?
Well, my background I grew up in Louisville, and I was part of an arts family. My mom was a visual artist and my dad was a writer. And then later my mom was a writer as well. But we had artists around our house 24/7. Our house was one of those open houses. Everybody came in and out, especially around dinner time. And my dad really liked to cook and provide food for anybody who needed to eat. And he was a professor at the University of Louisville. So I made art from a really young age. I was one of those quirky little awkward kids in my imagination, and really very internal and very quiet.
Mhm.
So I always crack up that I ended up in the performing arts because I'm almost always the most soft-spoken person in the room, and everybody at open mic used to tease me about that. They'd want me to go out and be all hype, and I was just like, I'm just who I am, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And there's room for me too.
Hmm.
But I did go to school in the arts. I got a really great scholarship to Bennington College in Vermont, and my family didn't have money for me to go to school, but they really supported me. The school did, so I got an education there, and then I went on to the San Francisco Art Institute and did a master's degree in photography there.
Hmm.
Um, and when I was in San Francisco, of course, I was around, the incredible diversity that that city has, and just really enjoyed the atmosphere and the creativity so much, and had the opportunity to start a small foundation for women artists.
Hmm.
And it was specifically set up for women of color, women who were disabled, women from poverty and working class backgrounds, and women who had not had the ability to go to school, but were doing their art. So really wanting to validate art that wasn't necessarily from the university settings. And I took care of that foundation for many years, and we were a granting institution. So we gave funds to women artists to do their work. And when I decided to move back to Kentucky, I was looking for a position and ended up in community arts, a lot based on that specific job.
Hmm.
So I would work briefly at the Portland Museum in Portland, neighborhood of Louisville, and then ended up getting this position. I started off as the coordinator in the education department. And then when Portia White decided to go to a different position, I applied for her job. And
Hmm.
it was one of those great moments because the director of our division was talking about doing a national search for the position. And I said, I'm right down the hall, you know.
Yeah.
Why would you look all over the nation when I'm here? I know this work, I can do this. And they did have a process, but I did end up getting that position and was really happy to be able to take care of the job. And it's pretty phenomenal work for sure. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of my background. And in terms of my art, I'm a painter and a photographer and a writer. And so those are much more internal forms, as you know, and I've never had that performance piece so much in me, but it's been just incredible to be able to provide that for other people. And when I first moved back to Louisville, I drove past the Kentucky Center and I looked up and, you know, there's those steps going up and it's this kind of grand building. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could never even imagine walking in the building. And it had been built after the time I left the city. So I remember a friend of mine gave me a ticket to come see Sweet Honey in the Rock. And I was like, oh, wow, what do I wear?
Yes.
I had that initial feeling like I don't have anything to wear. I was so grateful for the free ticket, but I got myself in the building and it was really incredible later to end up directing a program that was all about folks that didn't feel like they had a way to walk in the door. And having had that feeling and that experience and been able to make that way.